to see Alchemy of Souls Season 1 Episode 4 recap. Before entering into the topic, please subscribe the channel for more videos. Episode 4 of Alchemy of Souls starts in the past once more with Jang Gang forced to bear the truth. The king's son is going to be born, which is Jae-wook of course, and it's been written in the stars. It's prophesied that the king's son will be born when the star at the center of the Big Dipper reveals itself. In the present, Moodiok speaks to Jae-wook, who's dead set on making his father regret banishing him. However, UK is coming down with a fever, given he's burning up. Moodiok believes this could be linked to his torrent of energy, and sets to work pouring cold water over him in the bath. Only, when she returns again, she finds the water freezing cold and Jae-wook now sitting at his desk, clenching his fists. Moodiok encourages him to breathe slowly, demanding he fight off the cold that he's feeling. If not, he could freeze to death. Moodiok even cuddles up to him in bed too, a way of keeping him warm. UK though, tells her to take his torrent of energy if it's too much for him to bear. Meanwhile, Yeol and Dangu try in vain to convince Park Jin to take UK back in again. He shrugs that off though and tells them to focus on the soul shifter case instead. With a petrified body laid out in the watery recesses of the temple, Hyo greets the boys and tells them that this is the alchemy of souls. Very few people have this power, 2 to be precise. In order to investigate this further, Yeol and Dangu are told to keep an eye on Chonbugwon. In the morning, UK's fever seems to have subsided enough for him to get back to training with Moodiok. He's not able to unsheath the mage's sword just yet, which Moodiok claims is because he needs to master Ryusu first. However, the crown prince arrives, wanting Jang Gang's sword. Until a new Gwangju is appointed, he's going to take it. UK refuses though, which leads to the prince challenging him to a duel over it. They're not the only ones en route though. Yeol, Dangu, and Choyun all have their own reasons for visiting Jae-wook. While they travel up to see them, the crown prince, Go-won, fights against Jae-wook. With UK bested, just before Go-won strikes, Moodiok comes racing in and splashes the chamber pots all over the floor. However, in jumping back in surprise, he crosses the line and loses the duel. Although he concedes, Go-won is livid that his clothes have been tainted and decides to punish Moodiok as a result. Jae-wook suddenly steps forward though to show Gang's sword, which he's managed to unsheath, and slices Go-won's sword in half. Jae-wook's arm seems to have a mind of its own, courtesy of too much energy flowing into his arm, and begins slicing wildly at the crown prince. Go-won demands a proper fight but both sides have an awkward time deciding how to resolve this. As a result, Moodiok actually steps forward and drops to her knees, begging for forgiveness. She even suggests drinking the rest of the chamber pot water to atone for her sins. Thankfully it doesn't come to that and the crown prince leaves without incident. Jae-wook eventually returns to Sungrim and unsheathes the sword before them all, showing his power. He's mastered Ryusu in the blink of an eye and asks Park Jin for a second chance. Jae-wook needs more training but Park Jin notices the band on UK's arm and tells him to remove it. This is, of course, holding back his power. Despite Dangu telling him to stop, Park Jin demands he do this so he can see the boy hold his sword. And just like that, Jae-wook uncontrollably slices straight through the king's shoulder. When Park Jin learns that UK fought with the crown prince, smashing the latter's sword in the process, he's shocked. Of course, Jin-moo is there too and he intervenes, pointing out how dangerous this whole ordeal was and how it could have endangered the prince. Although Park Jin manages to calm the situation, it's definitely something balancing on a knife edge. In private, Park Jin speaks to UK about his powers. With a binding bracelet keeping his power at bay, Park Jin admits that he's truly impressed with his abilities. UK also admits that the flogging actually helped his energy flow. With a smile, Park Jin points out how quickly he picks up abilities and suggests he join their trade and learn about the business. Alternatively, he could team up with Hyo and learn about the art of medicine. Jae-wook kindly refuses his offer and tells his father he intends to become a mage to avenge his father, Jang Gang. Only Park Jin squashes those dreams and tells him he's the product of an illegitimate love affair. Jang Uk is shocked, crushed at this revelation, and decides not to train after all. Moodiok tries in vain to get through to him, but he shrugs it off and claims he'll just sell her off if she continues this way. At the same time, Jinmoo continues to spin his web of deceit and danger, deciding that Jang Uk should be beheaded for his insolence. Moodiok suggests they should fight again to show what a fair fight this was, which Jinmoo decides is a good idea. He also claims they can't be responsible for what happens should UK die as a result of this. When news of this spreads, Moodiok confronts Jang Uk and tells him if he stays he's likely to lose his arm. So he decides to flee the secret room and escape. Moodiok claims their destination is Sari Village, but in reality, UK and Moodiok are actually heading for Naksu's hometown, Danhyangak, to train. Jang Uk needs to be ready. The duel is due to take place in the middle of the next month, but if UK doesn't show up then he'll be deprived his right to become the next Gwangju.